Did you meet an advisor who came to your house, talked about all the good things about our RESP plan? You are not alone. These advisors are notoriously bad for selling a type of RESP plan which are very problematic. A lawsuit was placed against these companies, and they are the subject of all the regulatory scrutiny in the last few years. Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about the scholarship RESP plan and how these products are notoriously bad for high enrollment fees, high investment fees, and very poor customer service. So RESP plan is a type of account where the government gives 20% of whatever the parents contribute. So if you are a parent and contribute $100 into your RESP plan, the government is going to give you $20 up to a certain limit, and then you can take that money, invest that money, grow that money over time. When your kids go to university or college, then you can take that money out and use it to pay your kids' education expense. Now, this plan was launched in 1998, and since then, there are three types of channel where people can open their kids' RESP plan. So the first type is the individual RESP plan, where there is only one subscriber and one beneficiary. So a family with one kid will be in the individual plan. The second option is a family plan where multiple siblings can be in a plan, and it's called a family RESP plan. The family plan can have half siblings. In a blended family, both siblings can be included in the family plan. Now, most people are familiar with the individual plan and the family plan, and those are the two types plan that most financial advisor recommends. Now, the third type of plan, which is the group plan, and that is our focus today, where these are the plans are problematic. And I'm going to walk you through what are those pitfalls and how you can avoid those plans. So scholarship plans are also known as group plan, as you can see, and these plans have a little bit of different rules than the individual plan or the family plan. So the way these scholarship plan works is they are a pool of fund from different families. So all the kids that are born in the same year, this plan will pull fund from these families. If I have a kid who was born in 2020 and a friend of mine, her kids also were born in 2020, both of our fund will go to the same bucket. Now, one of the criticism of this plan is whenever you are enrolling to this plan, they have a very high fees, and these fees can be 5-10%. In some cases, these fees can be hundreds and thousands of dollars, and they are based on something called a unit. So when you are joining this plan, you are buying a unit of this pooled fund. Typically, what these group plans do is they collect those funds and then they invest in the stock and bond market. Now, these group plans are designed to invest in a very low risk product. So what that means is, if you look at any of these funds, they have 70 to 80% of their investment invested in bonds. So interest rate for the last 10-15 years has been very low, apart from the 2022 and 2023. Especially 2023 is a very different year, but up until 2023, the interest rates on those bonds, the return on those bonds were very low, and that's why these funds did not perform very well. Now, another problem of these group plans have is the fund fees are typically higher than a traditional mutual fund. So a traditional mutual fund will have a fee around 1.5% to 2%, whereas these fund tends to have 0.5% higher than an equivalent mutual fund. When you are buying a traditional mutual fund, you are supposed to get some sort of financial advice that are embedded in that mutual fund cost. Unfortunately, in the group space, they are taking your fees, but you are not getting any advice from them because they are not allowed to give you advice other than the RESP. And since it's a group plan, you're not getting any personalized advice from this RESP provider. Another complaint that these funds have is whenever you are leaving these plans, typically whatever money you earned over the years from your money, you don't get that. Each group plan is different, and if you have one of these plans, you have to look through the clauses and you have to talk to those people to figure out if that applies to your situation. So the bottom line of this plan is no matter how you compare, these plans are often worse than the big five banks or the big six banks that are available. And in 99.99% cases, you'd be better off going with one of the large big banks. From my personal experience, these group plans are often sold to low income families. A lot of time they're sold to immigrant families. These two groups of people typically do not have financial knowledge to understand what's the difference between group plan and the individual RESP plan, and they are easy target for these aggressive sales providers. So that leads us to today, where a lot of regulators are questioning about the practice that these group plans are in, and there has been few lawsuits that was done against these major RESP plan. And I'm going to pull one of these news article that was published in the beginning of this year. So as you can see, this is from Global Mail, and this is the lawsuit that was done. So one of the companies that got the lawsuit is CST. I'm not picking on any company, and to be honest, if you look at the contract, you will see that most of these group plans have similar pricing structure. So I'm not picking on any of these, but I'm just going to go through the article that was published on Global Mail. So as I said, whenever you are investing your money into this plan, you're basically buying some units, and each unit will cost you money. So the way it works is every time you buy these units, these companies pays an upfront commission to the salespeople. And these upfront commission can be pretty high. So in this example, the person who made the lawsuit for $5,800 went to sales commission out of their $10,000 contribution. So you can see that a larger portion of their money goes to these salespeople. And that's why these salespeople are so aggressive. Sometimes these salespeople goes to people's house right after the birth of the child, even before the parents have some time to breathe in to the new situation. So obviously, when somebody is getting this high sales commission, they will be pretty aggressive, and that's pretty understandable. Anyway, so in this example, this family was paying a $200 sales fees for per unit. So if you're buying multiple units, that means you are paying hundreds and thousands of dollars that will be paid to the salesperson first before they get invested in these plans. Now, one of the complaints that this article made is these funds are invested in a very conservative asset mix. So that means the funds are not supposed to grow fast. They are supposed to just protect your asset, and that's why they are taking these conservative approach. I have dealt with many people in the past where they say to me that they have been putting money away in their RESP plan for 5-10 years and they have seen no growth in that fund. Well, that's because they are invested in a very conservative portfolio, and in the last 10 years the bond were giving very low return, so that's why it's not growing. Another complaint that these group plans have is their disclosures are very difficult to understand, and I have gone through a few of these documents, and they use different types of illustration, use hypothetical numbers, and if you are not from the finance industry or if you don't have any banking background, it's pretty tough to understand what's going on the actual paper, because they throw you so many information that you don't have any idea. So 99% people just take it and never looked through these documents. As per the article, there are a couple of other two group RESP provider that were part of the massive lawsuit. Those two firms are Knowledge First Financial and Heritage Financial. So these are the two firms that have similar sales tactics and similar pricing structure. I don't know what the government is thinking about allowing these companies to still operate in 2023, where technology has improved a lot. These RESP plans should not be in group setup anymore, in my personal opinion. And what will happen if you have one of these plans? So my recommendation is talk to your provider, see what options you have. Sometimes you can stay in the plan, just not contributing new money, and then open up a separate account somewhere else and make sure to invest and contribute so that you can catch up with the grant money, stuff like that. But to be honest, like, I am really upset on the regulators because they are still allowing these companies to operate. So if you are parents who have an RESP plan at one of these scholarship provider, then make sure to go through the documents, talk to your provider, see if there is any escape option, talk to a financial advisor who is from a different institution, get help from those advisor to see other options. And if you know somebody else who is your family and friends who have one of these advisor, make sure to tell them about this, and avoid these scholarship plan at any cost. These are not the best in Canada, and there are alternative choices that are much better product at a better pricing structure. So that's all I have for this video. If you like this video, make sure to check out other videos, and that way it will grow our channel and that will give us some motivation to make these videos. Until then, happy planning.